Hey, Spartan fans, welcome back into the Michigan State Spartans Insider Podcast. I'm your beat reporter from Michigan State Spartans on SI, Aidan Champion. We're in the middle of week 3 of fall camp, and it's ramping up. This is separation week, as Jonathan Smith calls it, where players need to really stand out in their position battles as far as where they end up on the depth chart, how much playing time they get this season. And it's a competitive week. Not only does the program want to individually stand out in their battles, but they want to stand out as a team. This is, everyone's in fall camp right now, and it's about not only separating them individually, but from other teams as well, as Jonathan Smith said on Monday. And so that's key. That's all you can ask for in camp when competition is so important. That's the overall theme of fall camp, and that's the difference maker in your season, right? When you're preparing in the off season, your defense going up against your offense. It's iron sharpening iron. Everyone getting the best out of one another when you're truly making those strides that you know um, ultimately prepare you for the season ahead. So it's an important week, most definitely. But what I want to get into today is this 2025 class, the freshman class. And this is Jonathan Smith's first true class here at Michigan State. So this one probably means a lot to him considering this is his, and this is going to be the one that kind of establishes the foundation of what he ultimately builds at Michigan State. And so, in most years, it's not the most ideal class, or initially, maybe it didn't seem like that. But there's some really great players in this class, and some who could see some significant reps this season. You think of Derek Simmons right off the bat, a guy who this staff has been really high on so far in camp. And he's, already we've talked about he's ahead of, um, most freshmen at his position. A guy who is in the mix there for that position battle on the interior defensive line, and someone who could really make an impact in his first year. But you've also, got Jace Clorizio. I don't anticipate him to play a whole lot this season, but he could be the future of this running back room. That's another position group, obviously, that has a battle going on. To most people, it's the most important one going on with this team right now. And while Jace may not see all that many impactful snaps this season, he's getting the taste of that competition, a true position battle in camp, and that's only going to help him develop going forward. And so he's learning how to compete and how to fight for reps. And he's the staff is high on him. Jonathan Smith said he looked good in last Saturday's scrimmage. So down the road, the hometown kid could really be the face of Michigan State's offense overall, not just the running back room, but uh, that's, he could be special for this group. And Michigan State, obviously, a program that prides itself in its running backs, still searching for its next great running back. And perhaps Jace could be that in a couple of years or so. But Jace Clorizio, that's that's a kid you got to talk about when talking about the potential of this 2025 class, and where it could ultimately be in a year or so. But you've also got Aiden West in the secondary, a guy that the staff has liked what they've seen so far in camp. Jaden Savory, tight end, could be the future of this tight end room once Jack Velling is gone, and Michael Masunis is gone. You'll have him and Parachek, um, barring any transferring. And then Leo Hannon, quarterback. His time is probably a ways away, but especially with Alessio, next up. And then you've got a 4-star in your 2026 class, with Cade Kaufman. And so don't really know where Leo will come into play or when, but regardless, learning from uh, a great quarterback in Aiden Childs, and I do mean great. He's gonna be really good this season. And as Aiden improves, as Aiden learns from his mistakes, he can, teach the younger quarterbacks like Alessio and Leo Hannon about mistakes he's made and how he's grown, and they can, watch, they can observe it, and he can lead them by example. So that's valuable experience that Leo is getting. And then in a couple of years or so, he could find himself in a position battle with Kate Kaufman or Alessio, and that could be um, really competitive quarterback battle once Aiden Childs is no longer in the picture. So that will only help Leo if he's still at Michigan State at that point. Um, Again, because transfer portal, we're not going to act like it doesn't exist, and we see it so much with quarterbacks when they're not getting um, the reps they would like. We see them transfer out and maybe go to a smaller program where they'd play more of a role. We don't know, but if Leo should stay, there's a world where he can make an impact for this team down the road as well. Braylon Collier, um, he could be the future of the wide receiver room. You've got some vets in that room, and then with Nick Marsh leading the way, perhaps next year or maybe even the year after, if Nick Marsh is still around, you could see those two being a tandem in the wide receiver room. Um, it's looking way too far ahead, but that's that's a possibility where you've got two really good wide receivers there, and I do believe Collier could be that. He's competing right now for that third wide receiver spot. I don't think he'll get it, but could see some good amount of snaps this season, and definitely someone that I think has high upside in this wide receiver room. So Braylon Collier, definitely a guy who could be special for this team in the future. But you've got a solid freshman class here, and those are only some guys that stand out right now. You can throw a Cal Thrush in there as well, but and then there's some guys that I'm not mentioning who could surprise us somewhere down the line. But this could be a really great class, and like I said, this is the class that has the potential to really establish Jonathan Smith's ring in East Lansing, and um, I'm sure they understand that and kind of see it as a responsibility that they have to take on. And when you've got something like that where you're collectively as a group have one special thing in common, that can drive a lot of motivation and um, just inspire them to want to get even better. So I definitely do think that there is a bright future in store for this 2025 class. And it does start with Derek Simmons. I just think from what Jonathan Smith has said, what Coach Laney said, that Spartans really have something special with Derek Simmons. And I could see him having a really great freshman season, especially when there's a battle going on right now, and guys are trying to separate themselves in the defensive line room, and he's got an opportunity to make some noise in camp and be part of that separation. So something to think about. when think about the future of this program. It's the 2025 class. Definitely one to feel encouraged about. As always, thank you everyone for tuning in. Always appreciate your engagement. You can continue to follow along with us on Michigan State Spartans on SI, giving you tons of daily content. We're bringing you coverage from fall camp. Um, and we are almost to game one, August 29th, Friday Night Lights against Western Michigan. Going to be an interesting season for Michigan State. We don't know where where the Spartans are going to end up by the end, but um, I do think that this will be an improved team, and there is a solid ceiling for this group. So, again, thanks for tuning in. Hope you're all having a great week. Thanks.